You guys ready? All right. So the first one's Charles Akono. He's a linebacker. He's 6'1", 250 pounds. Eric Williams did a great job of recruiting him. He's big. He's physical. He can really run. Just a great kid. Probably one of the most excited things I am about this class is just a bunch of real good students and good character and good football players. You know, I think Charles can run around, make tackles. He's very physical. Probably start him out at middle linebacker, but probably could also play our buck, you know, that 2-point defensive end that drops and plays. But really excited to get Charles. Think he's a guy that can come in and compete and have a chance to play right away. Ari Anderson's a defensive lineman. You know, really announced him at mid-year too, but he had to finish one more class. So he'll come in this summer. 6'1", 326 pounds. He's from Jones Junior College, originally out of Alabama. He's just a big physical kid. Definitely will come in here and compete to play a bunch. Good player. Darius Archie's an offensive lineman. He's 6'3", 305 pounds. He's a young kid. He's only 17 right now. He's going to just get stronger. The more, you know, as he gets stronger, what you really like about him is he's athletic, can move, he can bend, he's very flexible. Good football player. Quindarian, maybe one of my most excited kids I am in this class. Played middle linebacker in high school. He's 5'10", 108 pounds from Noxubee County High School, Macon, Mississippi, 2-time state champs. And he's just a football playing Jesse. I mean, he'll run around and he'll hit you and he just loves the game. I just love everything about him. I like his personality. We're going to play him at safety. It's kind of a safety that I've wanted forever. He'll come up and he'll knock you and he'll hit you and he'll do it again and again, and he just loves to play the game. Dylan Beeler, 6'3", 208 pounds from Clarkston. Really excited about Dylan. He's a great student. Was possibly going to go to one of the academies. Just a really good football player. Could possibly end up playing our buck also, or end up growing into a fullback. State championship wrestler. Great football player. Very excited about him. Akeem Coleman is maybe one of the best gets we got in the class. 6'3", 284 pounds from East Mississippi. On sign-in, or today on sign-in day. Their quarterback coach is a good friend of mine, Clint Trickett, that I tried to recruit out of high school, and he, hey, congratulations, you got our best defensive lineman, and East Mississippi's probably the best junior college football team in the country. And he's just a really good football player, could play both, the 3 technique and the end position, which really helps, makes us excited about him. Rashawn Crawford's a defensive tackle from Tucker High School. Tucker's one of the best high school football programs in the state of Georgia. He's 5'10", about 330 pounds, just loves the game, can really run. He's athletic, flies around, was a great leader on their team. They got a lot, Tucker High School has a bunch of Division I players every single year coming in and out of their program, and he was the leader of this team. Very excited about him. Vaughn Daggs is a cornerback, 6 foot, 160 pounds from Mountain View High School in Auburn. Really athletic, played both receiver and DB. We're going to start him out at DB. Probably see his athleticism more at receiver. He's really good in track, but he can catch, make people miss, but he's got good ball skills. But what you like is you see him hit people on defense too, so feel like he can really help us there. Wayne Eds is a defensive lineman from Memphis, was a defensive player of the year in his conference, 6 foot, 256 pounds. He's from Memphis Central. Kenny Holmes did a great job recruiting him. Kenny has a couple former teammates that are down in the Memphis area that really helped us get him. And that's a great get, to get the player of the year out of their conference to come to Idaho is really big. Jaden Gardner, linebacker, 6'1", 225 pounds from Notre Dame. His dad was a great player here. It's great to get him here. His mom grew up in Lewiston, so it's kind of like halfway coming home for him. He's a really good football player. He's physical, good tackler. Very excited to get him. Ty Graham's a 6 foot. That's a misprint there. He's 200-pound safety from Cheney, and Tyle just flat not. He's just a great tackler. I'm really excited to get him. I think one of the things you judge defenses by a lot of times is how well their safeties tackle, and Ty could be a really good safety. He also could maybe play the Sam linebacker position where Caden Ellis plays right now, because he's a physical, really good tackler. Lloyd Hightower, receiver DB, 5'9", 182 pounds. I don't know if anybody's watched his highlights, but he's fantastic. I mean, he can flat fly, makes people miss, could cover. He's even a guy I could see playing both ways for us, playing receiver and that nickel corner, on third downs. He's a big-time talent. Very, very excited about him. Chris Hunter is a guy that came right down to the wire, back and forth, with us and UTEP. And he's 6'2", 232 pounds, and played receiver. And you watch him on tape, and you're just like, oh, my God, how can he be that big and be that athletic? Great kid, has a great mom, comes from a really good football program. And another guy, just, fantastic high school football player, very excited about. Mason Petrino is a 5'11", 170-pound athlete, really put him as quarterback / receiver. Obviously he's my son, and he'll do great things here, no doubt in my mind. David Potts, the defensive lineman, 6'2", 252 pounds, from Roosevelt High School. You watch his highlights, and he's just really physical. There's one tape where he runs through the defensive end, runs over the running back, hits the quarterback. Plays with really good pad level, uses his hands really well. Good football player. John Silva's a linebacker that's going to transfer here from Western Michigan. He's going to graduate. 6'3", 243 pounds. Very, very excited about him. He'll come in here with all kinds of experience. Had 8 tackles against Michigan State last year. He's physical. Be a great leader for us. Coach Molnar knew him he's originally from Massachusetts. Coach Molnar recruited him out of high school. So we're very, very excited about him. Dylan Thigpen's a running back. Obviously has all kinds of, his uncle was a great player on his father's side of the family. His uncle on his mom's side of the family they both were in Super Bowls. His brother played at UCLA, and he can flat. He's a great running back. He can really cut. He has great vision. He can make that cut in the hole, come to balance. Really excited about him. J.J. Wills is also, his dad played at UCLA, 6'1", 185-pound receiver, came to our camp last year. Great kid, has great, just really outstanding mom and dad. And that was something this year when you go in and out of the homes. I said it to Coach Sinkovich one time. We were driving from one house to the other. I said, we're in a lot of nice homes. We're in a lot of, not meaning nice homes as good parents. There was a bunch of really good people we went in and met, and that probably makes me as excited about this class as anything. I think just a great group of kids that are coming in here. I think it's the best class I've signed since I've been here, and just a bunch of talent. It was nice to sign a bunch of high school kids too. That made it real important. And then you got to remember also in this class, 3 kids that are already here. Alfonso Onawar, the receiver, already doing really good things. See him in the weight room, see him out running. He's really smooth. I think he's going to be real good for us. Josh Herman, the fullback, and he just looks like a fullback. You see him walking around the building. Excited for him. And then Noah Johnson's the offensive lineman from Fayetteville, Arkansas, who has got a chance to be really special with the way he looks in the weight room and running out and running drills. So that's the class, and I'll answer any questions.
Can you talk a little bit about some of the gray shirts that you just had enrolled? I think Tarek John, really athletic. You're going to have him play defense?
Yeah, so the gray shirts, Little John, we're going to start out at safety. So he's very athletic. He's tall, lean. Looks like, in the running and conditioning drills, looks like he's going to, very excited about him. I'm excited to see him in pads and see him move around. Mitro Denson's a defensive lineman from Jacksonville, Florida. He's got to lose a little bit of weight. Came in a little bit out of shape, but, very athletic. Can really bend. He's flexible, it looks like, in the weight room. Cade Coffey's, the kicker from Lakeland. Very excited about him. Hopefully it'll work out where he redshirts and then Austin's gone and then he can kind of take over. Was a great player in high school. Connor Verba from Rocky Mountain in Boise. Really excited about him. Good looking. Him and Noah lift together and kind of 2, big, flexible, good looking kids. And then Joe Wysowski, the tight end, is a great looking kid. And he's strong, he's big, and so very excited about the gray shirts that are already here.
Just talk a little bit about Hunter, the recruiting battle. He actually read that he committed to them on a
You know what? I think that was them pulling a little fast one. I read the same thing. I was like, oh my God, he committed to him. But I'm not sure he really did commit to him on his visit. I think they put it out there, and maybe he did, but it kind of went back and forth. You know, that happens sometimes in recruiting, and sometimes right off their visit they feel really happy about, you know, where they just came from. But I think when it all came down to it, he felt like, you know, this was the best place for him, and I'm very excited. I'm happy that we won that one.
Seems like he's a pretty highly regarded linebacker, playing receiver.
He is. You know, I think could have a chance to be a really good player at both places. Now, he wants to be a receiver at first, so we're going to give him a chance to play there first. And if you can have that big of a receiver as athletic as he is, boy, that'd be tough to have. That'd be a mismatch. So a lot of mismatch problems for people, so we're excited about that.
With all the guys you lost in the front seven, did you kind of feel that was the biggest need for this class?
Yeah, that's why, you know, you see we had 5 defensive linemen and 3 linebackers, and so that was definitely the big need. Sign more guys on defense and offense because, you know, we have more guys coming back on offense. So, you know, we really went out and tried to sign as many good defensive linemen as we could, and along with linebackers. I thought we did a good job of it.
Talk about the process of recruiting Mason.
Yeah, you know, that was just kind of something where I come up here with him every Sunday, a lot of times Saturdays, but I mean, I've been working out with him since he could walk, you know, and he can throw it. He's really accurate. He can throw it. My brother's always said he thinks he's a receiver. You know, all those years I coached for my brother. Mason would be out there doing the receiver drills with the players, and one year when I was at Illinois and I blew out my ACL, Mason would demonstrate all the receiver drills first before the players would do it. So he's going to be a good football player, and it's just kind of been a dream of mine all my life, to be honest with you, to coach him someday, because I played for my dad, and it was a great experience, and I've just always, you know, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about it.
I know he had his signing early at the high school.
Yeah.
What was that moment like for you?
It was pretty neat. You know, it was. My daughter had hers earlier this year, and she's going to Montana, and now Mason's coming here. So it's pretty special. I don't even know if I could put words to it, but it was awesome.
Do we have anybody on the phones?
Yeah, Becky, Dave here from the Statesman. Coach, I want to ask you, with a lot of these guys, you've mentioned, physicality being, one of the main traits. And I know last year you talked a lot about stress on speed. Was there more of an emphasis on trying to be more physical, and maybe what kind of prompted that for you?
Yeah, you're probably right. We really these guys can all still run also, but I definitely wanted to get tougher on defense. So that's probably something I really wanted to go out there and find some guys that would show up on tape that would really, you'd see them on tape hitting people and like hitting people, you know, and then you'd see it again and see it again and see it again. And I wanted to go out and sign guys that were really physical, hard-nosed, tough football players, and I think we did a good job of that.
Is there, so it's so difficult to always tell at this point, but any guys that kind of jump out that you think will have to maybe contribute right away, or any certain positions where you can see a need for a young guy to step right in?
Yeah, defensive line. I think the defensive line will have some guys contributing, no question, right away. Linebackers, some of those guys will play. There's enough talent, you know, it would be hard to not think that Hightower's going to get on the field early on, that Chris Hunter's going to get on the field early on, and Thigpen, you know, we have some good running backs coming back, but boy, he's a talented kid. So, you know, any of those defensive players, Quindarian, I would be hard pressed to think he's going to redshirt just because I love the way he hits people and gets after them. So, you know, but I always tell every single kid I don't want any of them thinking they're going to redshirt, because I want them working from now until the season starts, believing they're going to play. It's kind of like if you think you have a test on Friday, you're going to study really hard. If you think you have a test in 3 months, you maybe not going to study very hard. So I want them all thinking they're going to play this first year, and then if they're not physically or mentally ready, then we redshirt them. But if they are, then we're going to play them. Do you think
the recruits were a little more receptive to Idaho, considering that last year you guys were able to kind of show some progress, or has that been a process? What's it kind of been like on the recruiting trail, getting that reception from guys?
No, I think you're right. I think they saw, we played real well and won 4 games, and we blew 2 games, and so if you put those together, then we're in a bowl game, and I think that's definitely something we could sell. I think we could come in and show them tape and and see how much we've improved and how well the program is going. And to be honest, I think when they got on campus and got around our players, they just felt, the positiveness of the players. And probably as good, I always have an extra interview with every single recruit. And, Jason Silva, who's been around a lot, played in junior college, played at Western Michigan, and he just said, I really like how all the players are together, how they all, believe in each other and how they all believe in the staff coach. And this is what I've been looking for, and this is the place I want to come to.
Thanks, Paul.
Coach, I want to ask a little bit more about Jaden and obviously his dad. I know you left for Utah State right when he came in.
Yeah.
Do you have any stories about him from maybe trying to recruit him or coaching against him?
Yeah, it's a sad story, though. I mean, Jaden was here at camp when his father passed away. So I had actually offered him earlier that day, and he was going to get on the phone to call his dad and all excited to tell him. I had not totally offered him, but I told him how much we liked him and just how we'd probably want him to come play here someday and watch his next year. I guess I shouldn't say I'd offered him, but I'd really liked him, and he was playing in the camp and doing well. And while he was at camp here is when his father passed away. But I coached against his father when I was at Utah State. He was a great player, and I don't know stories about him because I wasn't here then. But Jaden's a great kid, and it's been really nice just getting to know him through this process. And he's got a really great mom that does a great job of raising him, so it'd be good to get him here.
Seems like getting sons of former Vandals has kind of been an important thing for you.
I like it. There are probably two things I like: coaches' kids and former players' kids. Because I think the former players' kids, I think, have pride in the program. They believe in the program. They grew up hearing stories about their dad playing there and their dad doing great things and winning. And most all the sons we have is when their dads are winning a whole bunch of games. So I just think that's something that I like. I like coaches' kids, and I like former players' kids.
A lot of kids from the South again, but you're continuing to build some pipelines up in the Northwest with
Right.
4 kids from the JN or 3 kids from the JNL.
Right.
You think you're still able to sustain the ties you have down there and build more up here?
Yeah, I think that's what we're trying to do. I think always keep those ties we have, that I have and some of our other coaches have in the South, and get kids there. But I think each year that we get better and better, then we'll start getting more and more kids closer to home. I think that's something that we're working hard on and building. I think it was huge to get a kid from Lakes. That's a great program up there. So, Chris comes down here and plays well. That'll help us in that Tacoma area. And that's an area I want to get more kids from, because there's good football there. Those kids they're tough. They know how to play the game. And so I thought it was really big to get him. And then getting the local kids, because then, they have success and you get those fans to come up here and watch them. So, getting Dylan Beeler here and Ty Graham, and getting Ty here was a big get. His dad's big-time recruiter for Eastern Washington, so getting him to come here was big.
Did you get to see Ty play at all at any games against your son? I know they've.
I was on the road.
Probably kind of.
Yeah, I saw him play. He came down to the camp also, so and I respected that. He came down to the team camp all by himself. Drove down here, brought all his pads with him, lined up and played with the Renegades, and and actually kind of hung out with the Pullman kids in between things. But he did a great job there, and I really respected him for that. Just drove himself down here, hung out here all day, and he's a really physical, tough football player. So I saw him his junior year, but this year when they played, I don't remember where we were, but we were on the road.
Did you hear anything from recruits maybe asking about the conference situation, concerning about it?
Yeah, you're always going to hear stuff. A lot of people, that's main way a lot of people recruit is negative recruiting. That's kind of part of the deal. And the biggest thing I had a coach teach me one time, I was in a home and we were getting negative recruited, and it was Coach Zook, and he just said, one thing you got to remember, if the only way they're trying to get you to go there is by saying bad things about another school, well, then the first time you have a bad practice or anything, well, how do you think they're going to talk about you? Because people that are negative are negative. People that just try to sell themselves and are positive are positive. So I think that's always going to happen. I don't think there's any way you're ever going to get around it. So, the biggest thing I sold is we're in the Sun Belt right now. We're going to be really good next year, and I expect us to be in a bowl game next year. And that's what I can control, and control the controllables. And let's come here and come have some fun, and we're going to get after it.
Is there any in-home visits that with any of these kids that maybe stuck out? Any fun things parents did?
You know, there was just, I guess what stuck out the most is just what a bunch of good people, you know, just a bunch of really good people. The Hightowers home visit, you know, you're sitting there and, you know, both the mom and dad work for the government, and, you know, I don't know if you can, you know, so it's really cool. You know, the dad is in the, you know, I don't know if you can really say FBI, CIA, or any of those things, but that was a neat visit. You know, that was a neat home visit, talking to them, listening to them. I thought it was cool. You know, I guess we were like we had Secret Service people, we had FBI people, we had police. It was like, that was the year of recruiting this year. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Thigpen's dad, he's in the Secret Service, and so that was kind of cool. Talking to him and his mom and dad both went to Southern Miss, so we had some stories about that when I had coached there, and they both went to school there, and there was a lot of neat homes. You know, Chris Hunter's mom's really neat lady, and it was just, they were all nice, but I guess what I came out of most of the home visits this year is, man, what a bunch of good parents. You know, and that's something that's exciting when you get somebody that you know comes from a good mom and dad, or vice versa.
I noticed that you guys hired Brian Reeder as a GA.
Yeah.
Did he reach out to you guys, or did you guys try to find him and hire him?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both. He reached out first, and then I reached back out, and then very excited to have him here. I think he you know, a lot of times with young coaches, you kind of find out what you think about how kind of, you know, what a recruiter they're going to be early on when they're graduate assistants on the weekends, when you bring the recruits in, and you just see them, you know, communicate with the players. You see them communicate with the parents, and that's kind of how you think, yeah, that guy's going to be a good recruiter. I remember, you know, when Van Harmon worked for us at Illinois, he was a GA. I would see him talking with the parents and the players, and I think he's going to be a good recruiter, just watching him on these visits.
Any importance maybe of him having that connection with the last time the Idaho won a bowl game?
Probably, yeah. I think that's good. I mean, the more you can, it's kind of like recruiting coaches' kids, you know, the more you have people around. And just, I think it's important having him around because you can tell he has a great love for the university, you know, and believes in it and sells it, and he can tell people about it. So that's a great thing.
Anything else?
You felt the need to become more social media savvy at all as recruiting?
I have, yeah.
Mason help you with that? Or-
Yeah. So has Ava, for that matter. And I've had to, but yeah, that's definitely something that you have to, you know, keep working on and keep improving, and because you know you can't text people, but you can message them, you know, on Facebook, and you can do different things that way. And I probably instant message. I think, is that what it's called? It's the legal message, whatever you call it. To me, it's texting them on Facebook. So I did that with recruits all the time. I think that's a really useful way to contact them and get involved with them. And one of our new graduate assistants, Steve Oliver, I think he's going to be he might be one of the new gurus of the social media. He's already helped me a lot. He helped me a lot today, just getting stuff out on the recruits today.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.